Here we are. I need to make it full screen, so I'm not going to be able to see you guys. All right, here we go. So the first league is Happy Valley Division One. Yeah, much better.
Oh, that's better.
So, looking
Right.
over the teams before the show, there's a lot of well drafted teams in every league. Pez, have you had a chance to take a look at any of the teams?
I was going to just do it on the fly here. I did have a scan when Johnny put it in the thing, but I've been away since then, so I thought I'm just
All
going to do
right.
it fresh on the air and have a look. But when I did look at it, I do like Team One. Is it Team Trade Frenzy? Um, it just at first glance, I look at it and like his IDP pickups he's got are really good. He's got Josh Allen, he's got Jamar Chase. I think Traven Henderson's going to be a beast. He's got Mark Andrews, I think's going to have a bounce back year. He has Joe Mixon and Chris Godwin, what kind of does stin to be honest, all the names look sexy, but then you look at it and you go, Joe Mixon, Chris Godwin, Brandon Ayuk, Hollywood Brown are all either on the pup or questionable. So he's essentially got Jamar Chase, Xavier Worthy, Jerry Jeudy as his three wide receivers he has to start, and then he's got
Okay,
no
I
one
want you
else.
to look at Team 6, Simila 89, if you can.
Go on then.
First two picks going
Yeah,
big
one
wide
second.
receiver. Jefferson McConkey. Then he got his running back one and Brown. Took a shot with Harvey, and then Swift and Pollard. His running backs are pretty solid. And then he has Burrow, one of the best QBs in the league, with being backed up by I believe Dak Prescott. Yeah, he has the best kicker in the league in Brandon Aubrey. I mean, this team, if you take everything in it, the only weakness I see here is tight ends.
Yep, I was about to say his tight
He
ends,
has Johnu
and
Smith, but
that
last year I
these
think he was tight end too.
yeah, but that was circumstance. He's at Pittsburgh now. I don't I don't think I won't be banking on Johnny Smith. So, and then Hunter Henry, I won't really be
Yeah,
banking on him. So his tight ends
I
might
think so.
really fuck him over. But I do see where you're coming from. His whole team, Demario Douglas, but by all sounds of it, he's going to be the wide receiver one for the Patriots. Well, he could be the biggest steal in. If the Patriots offense is as good as what people are saying it could potentially be with Drake May, he could be a steal in everyone's draft because he's either going undrafted or he's getting picked up in like the last 2 rounds. Um, yeah, I like his wide receiver depth. I like his running backs where he got him. Chase Brown, I think, is going to have a massive year. RJ Harvey, we spoke about it. He, I don't think it's going to take him too long to
Yeah, I think you're
get
right.
that job off thingy. Swift, he could be fucking anything. He's kind of shown he can't do the Ben Johnson offense at the Lions, but you just never know. New team, new situation, that it might help. One of his sneakiest good pickups, what's looking really good now, is that cross key Merritt down at the bottom. Um, with them saying that they're going to trade Brian
Oh,
Robinson Jr., he could be an
yes.
absolute steal because it all points to him taking
Yeah.
that joint RB role with Eckler. So I do see where you're coming from. He does have a solid team. It's just them tight ends. He might
Do
have
some
to
magic there. Yeah.
get in the waiver wire or do some trading for a
So
minimal guy.
so
Who's
Pez,
team seven?
before we get there, what I would like to do in the order so that we talk about each team in each league and think about the overall time limits. Uh, I'll give some ideas about Team 2. If there's something that you really want to say, you go ahead and add something. If not, you can go to Team 3 and you can talk about Team 3, and we'll kind of
Soundmate,
alternate.
yeah.
Unless there's something you really want to point out, we'll just leave what the other person
Yep.
says as the overall evaluation. Is that cool? All right. So
Yep.
I'll go
Yep.
ahead and
Sound mate.
start
We'll do
with
that. Yeah.
Team 2. We have Super Gibbs. I'm in a few leagues with him. Not surprised with Bijan. Marvin Harrison, I'm still waiting for him to break out, but this is his third year, I think, right? So it could happen. Laporta down here last year. It's what?
Second year.
Second year. Okay, yeah.
Second year.
So he could break. A lot of wide receivers break out in year 2. Laporta, I think, had a down year last year. McLaurin, 31-year-old wide receiver. I'm always worried about them. Pacheco, who knows what's going to happen? When I look at Super Gibbs, and you tell me if in your response if I see a lot of what ifs, and usually when you have a lot of what ifs, you're going to be 500 or less. So I'm not too excited about Super Gibbs. He does have some solid players, and if they all come together like Christian Kirk in Texas, wow, could be a dynamite team. But for me, too many what ifs.
Yep, I completely agree. You started it off, and I was listening to you as you talk, and then I looked at round 7, 8, and 11 IDPs. It honestly, personal preference is everyone's bag in fantasy. Like, if that's what you want to do, that's what you're going to do. My opinion really means shit in that regard, but it makes me physically feel sick when people draft IDPs that early. Like, what are you doing? Like, you're taking Zaire Franklin over Aaron Jones, Tony Pollard, Addison, Montgomery, Njoku, Shakur. And then you look at the 2 rounds, and then you went back to an IDP and then lost. Like, fair enough, he's only losing 2 picks.
But yeah.
But
he could have had Ricky Pearsall.
Yeah, no.
Which could be wide receiver 1 in San Fran.
Yeah. Well, he is going to be wide receiver 1 because there's no other fucking wide receivers there. And yeah, I don't like that strategy one bit. Like, I can guarantee, right, Franklin is good, and Ernest Jones is probably going to be a monster for the Seahawks. He was at the back end of the year. But to get them that high, you didn't need to jump. You just,
so what's your thoughts on El Chunko Team 3?
Brock Bowers, I understand it for the scoring format. I'll give you my opinion quickly on Brock Bowers. He scares me the most out of everything in fantasy. Everyone thinks last year, amazing. Yes, great. As a Seahawks fan, I have PTSD with Pete Carroll and tight ends. He puts fear into me, Brock Bowers. I could be, and probably will be, completely wrong on this take. I watched Pete Carroll for 12, 13 years in Seattle since he got there, and thank you. He abused the tight end position. It was criminally disgusting how little he used quality tight ends for how quality tight ends should be used. He fears me the most, but you just don't know. Yeah, it scares me to take him that high just because of Pete Carroll and the way he wants to play. So we'll move on though.
I'm not seeing a lot of standout picks on this team. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not too impressed overall. I do like Jackson, as I said earlier in the second round. That's okay for me. But so if I am going to talk about, go ahead, Pez.
I'll just give you a quick one on his team because I agree with what you just said, so we don't spend too long. People are down on Jackson Smith and Jigba. Everything I've seen through training camp, I think he's going to surprise everyone with how well he is going to do this year. I think he is legit going to... Where did he finish last year? Was it top 10? Was he 10th overall wide receiver?
Johnny, if you can look it up.
I've got it up here quickly, 1 second. He was 9 last year. Wow. It wouldn't surprise me, just with the vibes I'm getting, if he breaks the top 6.
Yeah, and he doesn't have Metcalf to fight with, so. Wow.
Yeah. That's just my last thing on his team.
All
so
right,
if you want me to
I
bounce
will
on
start
team 4.
with Mark Dodd. Saquon, of course, with the fourth pick, I think that's a solid pick. Travis Hunter, completely understand it, but I think he's going to be a rookie wide receiver that plays, maybe 25% of the defensive snaps. And a lot of people that have picked him in the top two or, one or two rounds are going to be disappointed, in my opinion, in a redraft. Now, maybe in a dynasty, Travis Hunter is going to end up being the star of all stars. I think in rookie year, he will not be.
you, what one thing you've got to just remember with Travis Hunter with the Orkney is so when they laid out the point scoring for Travis Hunter, because he can
Right.
play both ways, basically it's going to be interesting to see if you put him in the wide receiver spot, but he plays all defense, if you still get points in the wide receiver spot,
Oh,
or
you
they're
get
going to,
both. You
separate
get
them.
both.
Because they made out that if that's the case, you kind of he is kind of like as they call
Right.
it, the unicorn
Yes.
in IDP leagues, because that's why you take him in the second round, because you're getting all his defensive points and his offensive points. He could be
Yeah.
a legit monster.
I get it.
Personally, I don't think he's gonna hold up. I
I
really
don't think
don't
he
think
is.
he's
He's
gonna hold up.
already.
But
They held him out of practice the other day because of a chest strain or
upper
something.
body, yeah, he had
Kittle,
an upper,
of course, Kittle, I think was
yeah,
the
something like
number
that.
2 tight end last year. I think that's a solid pick, but he's hurt a lot. But then he has Kincaid. I think that's. I think Kincaid. This is his third year, I believe. Time for a breakout, and his flyer with Waller. Why not? But
Fuck it,
Ricky
why not?
Pearsall, yeah, wide receiver one in a stacked offense with their head coach. He's always got a solid offense. There's always going to be a wide receiver that performs well. Debo, Ayuk, they've always had somebody in the top five. Pearsall's year. Waddle, I'm not down as much as you are. Evans, 11 straight 1,000-yard receiving? Oh, my gosh. But again, I see a lot of
The
what
stag.
ifs on this team. What if Caleb Williams performs? What if Darren Waller performs? What if Mike Evans can do a little bit better than he did last year? What if Chuba Hubbard is a 1,200-yard rusher? What if George Kittle can stay healthy?
Well, I'd say with this, looking at his team, I do understand where you're coming from, but to get Caleb Williams that late as your backup because Baker's going to be your starter, why not is what I'd say. He's drafted his IDPs in an ideal spot for me, and they're all three legit IDP players. That Edrin Cooper, I think could be the best IDP player this year. He's young,
Right.
aggressive, and hungry, and he's a tackling monster for Green Bay. He could be outstanding for point scoring. Ricky Pearsall, Rashid Shaheed, Josh Palmer's the one I wanted to talk about. I think he could be the sneakiest pickup in fantasy this year, because he could easily project himself as the wide receiver one with Josh Allen this season, and he got him in the 16th round. So it's kind of like putting a sugar coating on your what if. I don't mind it
Yeah.
compared to the other team you
Yeah.
spoke about, what was a
I
massive
will
what if.
say, and I think I read, if you read Johnny's message, we should remind everyone he is the defending champion. I believe, is that of the Orkney Bowl, Johnny? The defending Orkney Bowl champion?
Wasn't that El
Yeah.
Chunk?
So, you know, we're over. He might know more than both of us. Yeah. All right.
Probably does.
We have Team Six here. So, Pez, if
Right,
you would like to just give some quick
Justin.
thoughts.
We will we'll leave Team Six because we
I
spoke
mean,
about
Team
Team
Five
Six, didn't
with
we?
Jamar Gibbs, AJ Brown, second round.
Sorry, yeah. All right, yeah. So Jameer Gibbs, AJ Brown, that injury to pick him up in the second round. I understand it, ADP and all that stuff, but that injury is a concern. Um, that injury is a concern that would concern me a bit. But AJ Brown, Garrett Wilson, Jameson Williams, Chris Olave, Jennings, Trey Harris, Torrey Horton. His running backs with Gibbs are Alvin Kamara, Aaron Jones, Tajay Spears, Stevenson, Nick Chubb, and then the backup for the Bears. Love what he's done with his IDPs because he picked two old guys who are solid tacklers. Chuck Purdy in there. Thin at tight end with Tucker Kraft and Elijah Arroyo. I'm not a big fan on Tucker Kraft being consistent at the tight end spot. Elijah Arroyo could be a sneaky one for the Seahawks because he is a offensive weapon, but I don't know if it's going to be consistent. Overall, I like the blend he's got. I do like the blend he's got, but you've always got to remember you've got to play three wide receivers. So what, you're playing AJ Brown, Garrett Wilson, yes.
Jameson Williams,
And then you've got
Chris
Jameson.
Olave. Those are they
Yeah.
could break out this year.
You then like what? You're hedging on Chris Olave to not get concussed again, or Jameson Williams to have a breakout. So it's like you've got two solid wide receivers, and then you're then scrambling for that third guy. I'll give you one for his third guy. Torrey Horton for the Seahawks. Like, he could be, in real football terms, could be the steal of the draft because he is lighting up preseason. Training camp of preseason, he's looking like a legit, like, outside, solid starting outside
I will
receiver.
only add
like
just one thought, and you can reply if you want, or we can move on to Team 7. I like the Flyers on Juan Jennings and Trey Harris. You know, who knows if McConkey will repeat what he did last year. Trey Harris is going to be a deep threat. I don't know if they will pan out, but I like the picks.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you, mate. I do. Juwan Jennings, you just don't know with this injury. People are saying, like, is he actually injured? Is he just trying to get more money so he's playing the games,
Right.
the holding game? If that's true, then he needs to prove that he's a wide receiver one. He's not been able to do that yet. He puts good performances in, but he's never really been the, de facto wide receiver one for the Niners. He's always been the backup who's come in and filled a spot.
Okay, so I'm going to go on to Team 7. Okay, and then you'll have Team 8 if you wanted to go ahead and start looking at Team 8. Team 7, I've been a Puka fan. I love the guy and hope that he gets 1,800 yards and 20 touchdowns every year. But his injury record, I just always worry. Brian Thomas, man, I have gone all in on Brian Thomas in so many leagues, made trades, given up multiple first-round draft picks. I love Brian Thomas. I think he's still going to be wide receiver one, even with Travis Hunter. T. Higgins, we already know about. We've talked about him, in the past. He's one of the rare wide receiver twos that puts up wide receiver one numbers. Your guy, Ken Walker, if he can stay healthy, could be a top 5. Hawkinson, I think, if you look at the history of people that return with his type of injury, it takes a year for them to get back into shape. But then if you scroll down, Johnny, and see that he only has one tight end, and that's TJ Hawkinson. Yeah, that's it. But then I like, Caleb Johnson. Addison is going to miss 3 games. Scatabo is a good, roll your dice guy. Golden, another rookie, right? Travis Etienne, I think he's had his day. He's gone. Pittman, yeah, okay. But again, Trey Benson, rookie year last year was wasted. But I think he is the future running back one. So if anything happens to Connor. Overall, I definitely think this team can make the playoffs. But, a lot of rookie picks that he needs a lot of value from with Caleb Johnson, Scatabo, Golden. and then only one tight end. That's all I have to say. Pez?
Yeah, I agree, mate. He's got a good enough blend. One tight end is a risk, especially in the scoring. He always does make me question why people don't pick more tight ends because the scoring helps towards tight ends. Like, but yeah, there's not much more with that one I can really add.
So, what's your take on teammate?
So teammate is who's teammate? I can't see the name on my
One.
Gatch.
I have not heard this
Gatch.
name before. I think he might be a new player.
I like this overall team because looking at this team and I'll read it out and I can already hear what you're going to say about this team. So he's got CD Lamb, St. Brown, Zay Flowers, Debo Samuel, Josh Downs, Keon Coleman, and Rome Wilson. And then his running backs are Kyron Williams, James Conner, Montgomery Bigsby, and Najee Harris. He's got Jaden Daniels, he's got Colston Loveland, he's got Cade Otton, he's got 3 solid IDPs, and then Sam Darnold is his backup as his last pick. I really like the spread of this team. You can nitpick at this and go, what running backs are quite thin. But the thing I like what he's done, you've always got to remember it's a free wide receiver league. And you look at his wide receivers and you go, every single one of them, because by the sounds of it, Ron Wilson's going to be the wide receiver 2 for the Steelers. Every single one of them you could play in your 3 wide receiver spots, and you're not scratching your head like the other teams. It's like CD Lamb, St. Brown, Zay Flowers. Personally, I'm not a big Zay Flowers fan, so you take Zay Flowers out. I'm a big Debo Samuel fan.
8th round is good value for Debo.
Boom, yeah, sorted.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say. And then what? If you
No,
don't
I got him in the auction last
like
night for like $8. So.
Yeah, but that's in my opinion, that's an absolute steal because the way the Commanders' offense played last year was a lot of dump off stuff, and he exceeds in that type of role as a wide receiver. Do you know, short yards catch, yards after the catch, all that kind of stuff. Jaden Daniels as his quarterback. I just like looking at the names and the way the roster's set up for the Orkney. I like the blend he's got. You're never going to be perfect in every position. But really, what you want to do is you want to hit solid tight ends for the scoring purposes, and you want to hit solid depth at wide receiver. Like, because you have to play 3 of them. You have to play 3 wide receivers.
Yeah.
So I just like his overall depth he's got there.
So what I'm going to do, Pez, I like what you said there. I also like what you said about Zay Flowers, and I'm going to leave it at that. If you don't mind, I would like for you to take the next team, Team 9, and I will do Team 10. I have a personal little rivalry with McG, so I'd like to go ahead. Yeah.
All right. I would like to get in your way then. Right. So, looking at this straight off the bat, I could just looking at what I just said with that team then, and I'm just going to go with that breakdown of what I did then to try and like speed it up, because if we're going through all 4 divisions, unless it's something that stands out. So, tight ends, for me, he's hit it perfectly. Trey McBride, I think, is going to be the best tight end this year.
He didn't score touchdowns last year. He will this year.
But yeah, exactly. So he's going to regress. Like, he's not going to maybe get as many receptions and stuff like that. But I think he's going to substitute that with actual touchdowns, because they have to get Marvin Harrison in that. Like, they have to get him his touches. They have to make him a success. It's just what the NFL do with the type of caliber of player of Marvin Harrison Jr. So that's going to happen. So Trey McBride, love it. Ingram and Strange. Them three are solid three tight ends there. Um, his running backs, his running backs, not, n what he's starting Josh Jacobs and Joe and Warren. That would not make me feel good about myself. And then his wide receivers, he's got depth, but it's not great depth. You know what I mean? He's got Nico Collins, Devontae Adams, and DJ Moore. But I'll use your saying. It's a lot of
What ifs?
it's a
Yeah,
lot of what ifs.
man.
That team's a
Yeah.
hell of a lot of what ifs.
Oh man. Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you on this team, 100%. I think you broke it down well. If you don't mind, I'll go to McGonigal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you go
So
for it, mate.
I don't mind if you give
Get
more
after him.
thorough analysis than what I did, but I wanted to give kind of my own analysis as well. So, of course, Ashton Gianti at, the 10th pick in the first round. Why not? Go for it. You know Carroll loves the running game. He's going to run the wheels off that guy. Devin A-Chain, I can understand it. I would not take A-Chain in the second round, personally, only because of his injury history. But what I am shocked about, and then you can tell me if I am right to be shocked, he is literally in the two of the first three picks. He is choosing the Miami Dolphin offense to carry his team with Tyreek Hill and Devin A-Chain. And that's shocking. And I don't think Tyreek Hill at what? Is he 31 this year? He'd be 32 by the end of the season. Yeah. I am looking at your Excel spreadsheet. Sorry, man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry, but it's a little bit blurry when I make it into the.
Bloody hell, Pork. You've just made Johnny talk, idiot.
Yeah. But even here, McGonigal, Gianti, A Chain, Hill, Hampton, Rice, Odunze. Yeah, Tyreek Hill, Miami Dolphins, right? El Chunko has A Chain. Okay, that's right. So Hampton, Rice, Rice, he's lucky he's going to get him in the first 4 weeks, right? He's going to be suspended for at least 8 to 10
Yeah,
games.
but Rice isn't healthy.
Again,
Rice is still injured, isn't he,
Rice,
from
yeah, who
last
knows?
year? Has he been
I
cleared?
don't like the guy. I don't draft him. I don't pay attention to the guy, to be honest. Uh, he's going to miss 8 to 10 games. I don't like his wide receivers at all. Hill, Rice, Odunze, and Diggs.
He's got Calvin
Yeah,
Ridley as well,
yeah.
remember? Well, it's nothing
I
really to
don't see
shout home
Ridley being
about,
a
but
top 10 wide receiver. I don't. I don't see any of these guys being a top 10 wide receiver. Uh, Now, Warren, there always seems to be a rookie tight end that breaks out, like Laporta and then McBride and then Bowers. So maybe Warren is going to be this year's tight end. But Judkins, I would have loved this pick 4 weeks ago. But I will say the charges have been dropped. So he could be back on track to being the starter. Overall, I am used to McGee doing a lot better, to be honest, in his drafts. So, Pez,
get
what do you
after him.
think? I'm not impressed.
One minute, let me get rid of the chat screen. Genty Hampton. It, yeah, I could see him having a really slow start to the year, but he's really hedging on these
Yeah.
rookies coming in and thingy. His wide receivers really, they're not too bad. Like Hill, Ridley. Rice is back at training. I didn't see that, so they're probably going to try and force him into playing them first 4 weeks. What could help him? Dunze could be anything. Stephon Diggs, I don't like it. Keenan Allen, what's he going to do? Just babysit Lad McConkey for his second year? Yeah. His wide receivers could really let him down. Tyler Warren and Njoku, well, I don't
Yeah.
mind them. I think Tyler Warren's going to be really good this year. And then he's got Lamar Jackson. So yeah, I do know what you mean. His wide receiver position does put me off a bit.
But good news for McGonigal. Allen from the Kirkwall Raiders has chosen the Portland Lumberjacks McG to be the winner of this league. So there is one sign of confidence, a vote of confidence for McGee's team. But yeah, there's how many rookie has Gianti, Hampton, and Judkins rookies, Warren rookies, 4 rookies in big spots. So, you'll see my team. I also have a lot of rookies, so I can't really say much. But yeah. All right, Pez. Let's do the next one.
Right. Who is it? Keltman. Right. So you got Derrick Henry, CMC, Jaden Blue, Rico Dardle, and Roshan Johnson. I don't like the fact that I'm seeing IDPs that high up on Roquan Smith and Jordan Brooks, who you could get in double digits. I think that's going to cost him heavily. Like, he's got. This can't be right. Let me have a look at Johnny's screen here. I don't get what he's done. What am I looking at here? He's got DK Metcalf, Sutton, Mims, Io Manor, and Corker as his wide receivers. He's essentially playing in a 3 wide receiver league, 2 Denver Broncos. Man, I don't like Mason Taylor. Mason Taylor, really like that. I think he could have a really good year as a rookie. Jake Ferguson should be solid tight end. Chigakonkwo, my big takes. Gunnar Helm's gonna take his job after a couple of weeks. Taking them IDPs that high, man, has cost him so dearly. 2 IDPs back to back that high up. So look at his wide receivers, right, and he's lost out on Shakur, Stephon Diggs, Deebo Samuel, Jacoby Myers, Ricky Pearsall,
Yeah.
Juwan Jennings, Jaden Higgins, Golden,
Jacoby
Josh
Myers.
Downs, Cooper Kupp. If it's no, sorry. No, do you know what? He has lost out on all. He's lost out on all them because
Yeah.
he took Roquan Smith, and then it was Shakur, Tracy, and then
He
took
even lost
Jordan
out
Brooks,
on
and he's lost
Debo and
all them. And
Myers
then he
and
took.
Egbuka. Yeah.
I don't like that team
Pearsall.
one little bit.
He could
Like
have had
I really
Pearsall, the
don't.
wide receiver 1, instead of he better. I mean, is Jay Brooks going to score as much as a wide receiver 1? I don't know. Wow.
He's a great tackler, and that Miami defense is gonna stink. So, like, bit of like my take on IDPs is I don't draft high on them because I wait till a couple of weeks. You either find the team disgusting with the disgusting defensive line, because that means the linebackers have to do all the tackling because they just get through it, or the shy offense because the
Yeah.
defense is on. So Jordan Brooks will generate good points, but not when you got to play 3 wide receivers and you're playing 2 Denver Broncos. Like, what? It's going to cost him. It's going to cost him
So,
dearly, that I think.
just a quick comment, and I'm ready to move on if you are. You can certainly. I would just say
Yeah.
it typically we rate on 1 or 2 solid wide receivers, a running back that can catch and run, but a lot of times the tight ends. If you look at his tight ends, his best tight end is Jake Ferguson. I think that's that's a no-go. His wide receivers, Metcalf, great. Sutton could explode, but then he has no other wide receiver. His running backs with McCaffrey, that could carry him. It really could, right? But then his next running back is Jaden Blue, which could be running back one, but it ain't going to be in the beginning of the season. I don't know. I wouldn't think so. So he's, maybe in the second half of the season, this team could perform. But, I'm not. He might struggle. It looks like one of my teams. Anyway, all right. I'm going to let you have the honors with the last team here. I will say I do. I'm not a fan of Hall or Cook. And that's about all I'll say. I tight ends, Kelsey and Pitts. Okay, not bad. What do you think?
Neighbours, Drake London, Shakir, Pitts, Quinton Johnson. Quinton Johnson's good down there. I don't mind that. He's got one IDP, what I don't think's a great selection at IDP, personally myself. Breece Hall's too much of an unknown. James Cook's just come back to practice this late into training camp towards the season. He's got to get fully revved up. Patrick Mahomes hasn't been great these last couple of years. I personally think he will have a bounce back. I like Travis Kelce this year. Kyle Pitts is Kyle Pitts. Breece Hall, Cook, Tracy. He needs to sort his IDP out for sure. That's certain. Like, he needs to properly look into that position and maybe reevaluate his player there. But you know what? I'm gonna just there's too many what ifs. Too many what ifs.
I do think there's 5 to 6 teams here that can win it all. And there's 5 to 6 teams that would need a lot of what ifs